A very good morning, children. Today we will study Bangle Sellers by Sarojini Naidu. Born in Hyderabad, India, she was a political activist, feminist, poet, and the first Indian woman to be the president of the Indian National Congress and to be appointed an Indian state governor. She was sometimes called the Nightingale of India. She was one of the first women to participate in India's struggle for independence. Throughout her career, Sarojini Naidu worked for the dignity of the common man and the education and emancipation of women by actively encouraging the setting up of orphanages and schools for girls. She also urged the student community to stand united against racial and communal discrimination. She is remembered as one of the founders of the modern India.
I come to you from many thousand miles away as the ambassador of a very ancient country to the youngest nation in the world. It may surprise you that a country which you are taught to regard as conservative should have chosen a woman to be its representative and ambassador. But if you read aright the whole history of Indian civilization, you will realize that woman has been the very pivot of its culture, of it all its inspiration, and of all the embassies of peace that have gone abroad for many centuries to the uttermost parts of the world. Friends of the New World, I arrived only last night past that Statue of Liberty that stands as a guardian of your freedom at the gateways of a new world. And with the best intention in the world to feel unfamiliar in this new country, my spirit feels that it has come home to a new version of old things.
Sarojini Naidu's The Bangle Sellers can be seen as a celebration of Indian womanhood. She writes on the theme of Indian culture and people. Her poems are focused on Indian settings. In this poem, she celebrates both the bangle sellers and the women to whom they sell their wares. The poem explores the imagery associated with bangles and also speaks about women's role in the Indian society, the connection between bangles and women. Each stanza of the poem describes a stage of an Indian woman's life and the bangles suitable at that stage. The poem revolves around bangles, which is an important ornament for women in the Indian society.
A group of bangle sellers are on their way to the temple fair to sell their beautiful bangles to women who have come to the temple. They are carrying shining loads for the happy daughters and happy wives. The bangle sellers try to convince the public who have come to the temple to purchase their bangles. There is a strong connection between the bangles and their role in making the daughters and wives happy. The next stanza describes the various colors of the bangles. There are bangles of blue and silver color, like the mist in the mountain, which are best suited for maidens who long for the happiness associated with married life. Some are of reddish hue, like that of a bud found along a stream. Some are of shining green color that resembles the freshness of newborn leaves. In the third stanza, the poet says that there are other bangles made for the bride. These glow golden, like the rich and ripe fields of corn. There are fire-colored bangles that represent the desires and passion in the heart of a bride. The bangles are tinkling with luminous colors, like the bride's laughter or tears. In the last stanza, the poet describes the bangles that are meant for housewives. or for the elderly women who have journeyed through half of their lives. These bangles are purple in color, and some are gold-flecked grey. The gold and grey color mark the fullness of her life. She has spent a large part of her life keeping her family together. She has made many sacrifices and adjustments to.
Let us begin with the first stanza. The bangle sellers. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. Who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow-tinted circles of light? Lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. In the first stanza, the very first line of the poem, the speakers, that is the bangle sellers, introduce themselves. Bangle sellers are we. I repeat, the poem begins with the speakers, the bangle sellers, introducing themselves. Bangle sellers are we who bear, who carry. What do they carry? Our shining loads to the temple fair. The second line tells us that these bangle sellers sell their bangles at the temple fair. Our shining loads, that is, the shining bangles that they are carrying to the temple fair. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. Fair, as you all know, is a gathering, a show or a public event where goods are bought and sold, with a lot of other things, amusements for entertaining the public. So these bangle sellers carry their bangles to the temple fair to sell them there, urging people to buy them. And if you've seen a bangle stall or shop, you know the variety of colors and designs that it has. The bangle sellers will describe the variety of bangles that they have. Who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow-tinted circles of light? So the bangles are A. Delicate. Please underline and number. Number 1, delicate. Probably because they are of glass. They are glass bangles. Secondly, bright. Number 2, bright in color. Shiny. Rainbow tinted, that is multicolored. So the third one is rainbow tinted. And number 4, circles of light. Circles of light, two meanings here. First, because the bangles are round and bright, so circles of light. Also, because of the happiness these brightly colored round bangles bring to a woman's life. I repeat, circles of light. First, because the bangles are round and bright, so circles of light. Also because of the happiness these brightly colored bangles bring to a woman's life. Therefore, rainbow tinted circles of light. Who will buy these? This is a question. It is a way of advertising the bangles. The bangle sellers, just like the street vendors, are shouting and advertising their bangles and attracting buyers. Who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow-tinted circles of light? Next line. Lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. Take down the meanings. Lustrous means bright. Tokens means symbols, and radiant means bright and happy. Lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. Since bangles are bought on special and happy occasions, the bangle sellers call their bangles tokens of a bright and cheerful life. I repeat, tokens of a bright and cheerful life. These bangles are tokens of happiness. These bright, multicolored bangles serve as a representation of a happy life. They indicate happiness, and that is why these bright and colorful bangles are meant for happy daughters and happy wives. The cheerfulness of daughters and the joy of married women. So the first stanza tells us that a group of bangle sellers are on their way to the temple fair to sell their bangles. The narrator is either one bangle seller, one voice speaking on behalf of all the bangle sellers, or you can say that it is a group of bangle sellers introducing themselves. The bangle sellers sell these bangles at the temple fair because many women would gather there. They're carrying delicate, multicolored, bright and shiny bangles which are meant for happy daughters and happy wives.